I'm in front of our PBY Catalina. It was produced here locally. It's number 1935 off the production line of approximately 4,000, and it was built about 1.5 miles away from here down by the bay. Now this PBY Catalina is a wonderful aircraft across the board, and if you were an American airman downed in a raft in World War II, there was no more beautiful sight on the planet than to look up and see this graceful aircraft coming at you at 100 knots. It took off at 100 knots, it cruised at 100 knots, and it landed at 100 knots. So when you saw it, it was coming toward you at 100 knots. This beauty right here was responsible for rescuing over 9,000 human souls throughout its career. And its career continues to this day. There's actually a handful of these that are still flying the world's airways. This particular example is one of the more mature models. It has most of the features that you would see on any of the World War II aircraft of this type. It has twin guns up in the nose turret. It was able to carry several thousand pounds of bombs. It could carry torpedoes, it could carry mines, it could carry depth charges. One of our docents here, Wayne Crawford, actually flew a Catalina very similar to this as a night attack bomber in the famous Black Cats units. We had a couple of squadrons that flew these things and actually used them to attack enemy shipping at night. If you can imagine one of these things coming at a fully armed and prepared enemy warship, it's a level of bravery that we don't really expect out of most people today. Wayne Crawford attacked a Japanese cruiser at night in his PBY Catalina, and when he arrived back at base, he was down to only a single engine. The second engine had been literally cleaved off of his aircraft. He continued his attack, and after he had dropped his weapons, he flew home with just one engine holding the aircraft up. Now this aircraft has wheels, you can see on the side. The early ones didn't. Crewmen had to go and bolt them on so the aircraft could rise out of the water to park after its flight. This one has wingtip floats, which allows it to be much more stable than the earlier models. And the retractable landing gear meant that it could take off and land from water or a runway, which was a huge improvement over some of the earlier models. This particular example served in combat in World War II in the Solomon Islands. It patrolled the Gilberts and several other of the island chains that were responsible for some of the major battles of World War II in the Pacific. We don't have records of it being damaged in combat, but we have a lot of proof that it flew combat during those years.